My ex-husband is upset that I have moved on so swiftly. I, 38F, caught my ex-husband, 41M, having an affair the same week I found out I was pregnant. The blow was devastating. I didn't know what I wanted to do. Should I get an abortion, or should I stay with him for the sake of my baby? I decided on getting a divorce and keeping my baby. My ex-husband asked for a second chance, but it just wouldn't work. So he moved out and in with his app 25F within the month. I also started a new job with better pay and more flexibility. Now I'm becoming a single mother, but I had to work my butt off in the beginning to establish a good reputation before maternity leave. When I gave birth to my baby, 1F, I was back at work after 3 months. Being a single mom with a career was not an easy task. I hardly slept or ate for the entire first year. I lost all my baby weight plus 15 kilos more. That's 30 pounds for you guys. My ex-husband and I have shared custody, but since she's still a baby, we are waiting with the every other week arrangement until she's 2. He visits to see her 2 to 3 times a week. Mostly my mom or the nanny receives him. I just can't bear seeing him so frequently, especially when he brings his app, now fiance, with him. The few times I met him, he looked very oddly at me, asking if I had changed my hair or complimented my dress or something. Yesterday, we had my baby's first birthday party. It was just the family, and we held it at my ex-in-laws, with me, my ex, his fiance, his sister, and my parents. My ex-husband was very irritated for some reason and was sulking the entire evening. After the cake, his mother asked him why he was acting as he did, and he said, "Nothing." When I asked him if he was okay, he flew at me. He started yelling, telling me that I was the one who broke us. If I hadn't let myself go and had taken care of myself half as much as I'm doing now, nothing would have happened. Everyone was shocked, and he stormed out in tears. I know what he said was a load of bullshit, but it kept me thinking nonetheless. I have always been modest and rarely wore makeup. My style is a basic black t-shirt and jeans, but I would never say that I let myself go. I do look different now and wear dresses and more feminine clothes occasionally, but I wasn't aware that I have started taking care of myself more. I just feel happy and at peace with myself now, and maybe I'm unconsciously trying to look nice because I want to start dating again. I feel guilty that he thought I was neglecting him. If I was, it was never intentional, and besides, even if I have started taking care of my appearances now, I couldn't look 13 years younger. The advice I'm looking for is whether I should continue ignoring him or talk to him about his little tantrum. Do I need to explain myself and how to move on from this? He's staying in my life. I don't want any of these tantrums thrown at me in the future. Relevant comments. Not Hanks, and then some. I just feel happy and at peace with myself now. I don't know what you are looking for advice on here, but I believe this is your answer. You don't give a lot of background information about your relationship with your ex-husband, but it honestly just sounds like the divorce did wonders for you. It doesn't matter if that is because of the divorce itself or just the fact that you naturally had to find yourself again afterward, as all people do in that kind of situation. What matters is only that you feel good about yourself, and that's not something you should ever feel guilty for. Ope replied, "Yeah, the divorce did do wonders. I was surprised how well I could make it on my own, and I felt pride that translated to happiness." Update. I can't find my old post. I must have deleted it. I'm going to give a shorter version here because I have had it with my ex-husband and I need help with how to act around him because I'm going crazy here. I, F38, found out that my husband, M41, was having an affair with a coworker, F25. The same week I discovered I was pregnant with my daughter, 14 months. My husband was my soulmate, and this finding hurt me deeply. I decided to get a divorce and keep the baby. My pregnancy was difficult and I battled depression. The first year of being a mom was the hardest, but also the best year of my life. I was still heartbroken about my divorce, but I adjusted very well. I found a whole new purpose in life and a different kind of happiness I never knew I could feel. I also started a new job. It involved more work, but had more flexible hours and paid much better, which suited me as a single mom. I can say that I'm very happy and content now. My husband opposed the divorce and refused to sign at first. He wanted us to solve things, but I was so in love with him that forgiving him was impossible. He moved on soon with his AP, and they're engaged now. However, I have noticed that he really did not like seeing me thrive. I have full custody of my daughter for the first 3 years because we thought shared custody at her young age wasn't fair to her. Instead, he visits her 4 to 5 times a week. Often, my mom, who is helping me with my baby, receives him. But on the few occasions I'm home when he visits, he would comment on my looks, compliment my outfit, or ask if I have done something with my hair, etc. I've lost a lot of weight. It was harmless in the beginning, but he became angrier and more annoyed with me. At my baby's first birthday, he threw a tantrum because I looked good in a black dress. We celebrated at my ex-in-laws. It was my in-laws, my parents, my sister-in-law and her family, and my ex and his fiance. My father-in-law told me I looked great. My ex was not happy about that. He started yelling at me in front of everyone, telling me that I broke us, and he stormed out in tears. This happened a few weeks back. I asked him to give my daughter and me a break and not visit until he could be civil. He told me I couldn't forbid him from seeing his daughter. Now my ex Mill comes and takes my daughter to her place so he can see her. He came to my apartment yesterday to talk. He was basically angry because I could forget him and move on so easily. I didn't know what to say. I just started crying and kicked him out. None of what happened was something I wanted or planned. I never wanted my baby to grow up in two different homes and to never experience the love her parents once had for each other. I have moved on because I want my baby to have a happy life, and that's what's making me glow, as he so resentfully put it. I want him to understand that we have to get along because that's the least we can give her. He has moved on with a different woman, and I chose to move on with myself. How can I make him open his eyes? He needs to start thinking of her and put her needs first because she didn't ask to be born into this mess. Any advice is appreciated, save for getting back together with him. I have thought of couples counseling, but we're divorced, so I don't know. Relevant comments. Terrible Tourist 8590. My ex had an affair and then struggled with the consequences. Divorce, new life for me, new love, and family for me. The response that shut him down every time was, "This started because you couldn't keep in your pants." Utterly crude and completely undeniable. OP replied, "He's terrified that I would meet a new man. Almost obsessed. I wouldn't even know how to begin dating, TBH." The OOP on the tantrum. We celebrated my baby's birthday at my ex-in-laws. It was my in-laws, my parents, my sister-in-law and her family, and my ex and his fiancé. My father-in-law told me I looked great. He was not happy about that. He started yelling at me in front of everyone, telling me that I broke us, and he stormed out in tears. My in-laws told me to ignore him, but how can I ignore him for 18 years? Tree City Kitty. I've got to ask, how did the fiancé take his outburst? Upi replied, "She was terrified. It was the first time she met me and my daughter. Fiel had to drive her home." Update. Thank you for listening to all my woes. Sometimes, when you're immersed in your own problems, you forget that there are others who have gone or are going through similar experiences. I mean, my family has been so supportive, but I'm glad I shared my issues here because let me tell you this. I have realized that I have been so naive and need to do a lot of learning about parenthood and being a single mother. I can never plan or control everything in my and my baby's life. I can only try. And whatever I do, there will be a lot of surprises and things that I haven't expected turning up happening. And it's fine. There's also no one right way to raise a child. I tried so hard to make things perfect because of the guilt that I couldn't give my baby the life I thought I could give her. I can't control or change my ex-husband, and I don't even think I have any right to do so. I can only change my life. And right now he's being toxic, and I don't want that. I need to cut the cord and go no contact completely with him. I don't know why he's being like this, and I'm not sure it would make a difference if I knew the reason. For both our sakes, I need to distance myself. We have shared custody, but because of her small age, she will be living full-time with me for the first 3 years. That was the agreement. He will from now on see her at his parents' houses, instead of coming to my place several times a week and staying as long as he wants. He is never allowed to talk to me outside of the subject of our baby, and only via text. Nothing about us, me, my looks, my dress, neither the positive nor the negative, will be tolerated. For him, I'm a stranger now, and he has no right to do or say any of the things he's been saying and doing since the divorce. I have told him all of this via email because I don't want to see him. He asked to meet, but I refused. He has written back that he understood and he will keep away. He has also apologized for crossing the line. He just still saw me as his family, and he was hurt. I didn't answer. I hope everything is fine now and that he behaves. I also need to rid myself of the resentment and bitterness that I feel towards him. I loved him, and I still do, and I am so angry and hateful towards what he's done. But this is life. People change and fall out of love, and it's okay. I need to move on. Relevant comments. Alakars. I don't believe I saw your initial post, but I've caught up on everything, plus your post comments. I'm glad that you are putting these measures in place to completely distance yourself from him. Although he said that he still saw you as his family, I think you already know that he meant he regards you as his property, and he should be the only male to benefit have a say concerning your body, sex, and social life. He made his choice, in secret by cheating on you, by staying with her and getting engaged, etc. And now he must live with the consequences. When you do start to date, I suggest you tell your new person up front that you have a jealous and selfish ex. Don't be surprised if your ex tries to reach out via social media to warn the guy against being with you. E.g., you are just a rebound until we get back together, we have a child together, so you will never truly have her, etc. OOP replied, I will keep that in mind because when I emailed him about him having no right to talk about my private life, how I looked, etc., his first reply was, are you what? Someone? I didn't answer. Alarays. So, he already violated the boundary that you set about only communicating about your baby. It sounds like your in-laws are fairly supportive. Would they be okay with having you two run parenting discussions through them? I also understand that there are co-parenting apps that you guys can use. Anyway, I'm sorry that you're in this situation. OP replied, I will find an app in my country. My in-laws are amazing, and they fully understand that I can't have their son in my life anymore. My mother-in-law is brilliant.